Thank you. Welcome, everyone. On behalf of Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan, I'm Kristen Gauthier, and I'm so excited to spend this time with you today. A little bit about me. I'm a nurse, consultant, and women's health integrative practitioner. I've spent 25 years working in healthcare and now focus on helping people create real changes in their lives with sustainable and simple strategies. So today we're going to be talking about micro habits and boosting brain power. So this workshop is part of the Atomic Habits series, which is all about how the smallest, most consistent actions add up to the biggest transformations. And when it comes to our emotional well-being and healthy aging, the same principle applies. Small shifts every day compound into big results over time. I want today to be practical. You'll walk away with strategies you can use right away, and we'll even practice a few together. So open up a new doc or grab a pen and paper to jot down some notes on what resonates with you the most. Feel free to ask questions or comment in the chat. Often when people think about healthy aging, they think about big lifestyle overhauls. So whether it's new exercise routines, perfect diets, or drastic screen detoxes. But here's the truth. Your brain responds better to small, consistent inputs rather than big occasional efforts. Every time you repeat a simple positive habit, you're reinforcing new neural pathways. This is neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to grow and change at any age. So instead of giant hacks, we're going to focus on tiny shifts that protect your focus, calm your stress, and keep your brain sharp as you age. So let's do a quick check-in. In one word, how would you describe your energy level right now? You can write it down, just say it to yourself, or maybe drop it in the chat. And why do I ask this? Because energy and being aware of energy is the first step in shifting how we feel. By naming it, we start to notice our own patterns. Now let's pause for a reflection. Think of one thing you love doing, something that lights you up, that makes time fly when you're doing it. Now ask yourself, am I making time for this regularly? If not, what's getting in the way? For most of us, the answer comes down to habits, distractions, or simply not being intentional with our time. But the good news is reclaiming joy and mental space doesn't require hours a day. It starts with the smallest shifts. Next, we'll try out small shifts for our brain health. One of the simplest and most powerful tools for brain health is conscious breathing. When we're stressed, we shift into shallow breathing, which signals the body to release cortisol, our stress hormone, over time. That wears on our focus, our sleep, and our mood, and our energy. And when focus, mood, and especially sleep are affected in a negative way, it affects everything we do. Just think about when you have a really terrible night's sleep, how the next day feels, how your hunger is, how your energy is, how you're able to work and think. It's not great. But just 1 minute of intentional breathing can reset your nervous system. So let's try this together. You can close your eyes or just look down, inhaling through your nose for 4, and then we're going to exhale through the mouth for 6. So I'm going to guide you through 3 rounds of this. So inhaling through your nose, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold, then exhale through your mouth for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, inhaling through your nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And one more time. Inhale through your nose. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Exhale through your mouth for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can open your eyes or look up. Do you notice a shift at all in how you feel? So this is a tiny but profound tool for stress. The key is pairing it with something you already do. So how we're going to put this habit into our daily lives. So you can think of something you already do throughout the day. Maybe while you're waiting for your coffee to brew, or your tea steep, or before you check an email, or maybe right after you check an email if it's not a great email, or right before a Zoom or a meeting, or right after. Take a moment now to write down or even just think about when you could incorporate this into your daily life. When you wake up, maybe before you get out of the car at work or home, before you turn on your laptop, before a meeting. I love to have a Post-it on my computer or desk that reminds me to breathe. So if this resonates with you, try it out. Or you can put it as a reminder in your phone, calendar event, etc., whenever you would like to add it in as a reminder. By doing this more often intentionally, you'll often find yourself automatically doing it without even thinking about it. All right, so our phones are incredible tools, but they're also designed to hijack our attention. Doom scrolling, constant notifications, the urge to check for updates, all of this floods our brain with dopamine in the short term, but leaves us mentally fatigued and unfocused in the long run. So here are some tiny habits that make a huge difference. Moving distracting apps off your home screen. So think about which apps you instantly go to in a quiet moment. Say you're waiting for the elevator, you're waiting for a phone call, you were just waiting for this webinar to start. What did you do on your phone? What app did you instantly go to? Are there a few that you always check, like right when you wake up in the morning, or that you feel like you have to check before you go to bed? Move those off your home screen so that they're not so visible. Because these are most likely the distracting apps that are stealing your time and your attention away from life and what matters most to you. Another tiny habit can be to keep your phone charging outside of the bedroom. This is probably one of the most challenging ones. A lot of people use it for their alarm clock or feel like they need to be connected all the time in case someone calls in an emergency. But most likely, if you keep your ringer on and keep it out of the room, you'll still be able to hear it. This will cut down on evening doom scrolling or in the morning reaching for your phone before you're even fully awake and processing the day. And another idea is to create intentional tech breaks. So think of things like no phones during meals, no phone the first 30 minutes after you wake up. And then turning off audible notifications for any apps that are not 100% necessary. And even ones that are just flashing up on the screen, that you'll be on one app, you'll get a notification, then you go to another one and another one. And before you know it, 30 minutes are gone. And you're thinking to yourself, what did I just do in the last 30 minutes? So thinking about these and maybe one that resonates most with you and where you feel like it could really help shift your mindset during the day and just improve your energy and focus if you weren't so distracted by your phone. Think of one and write it down, one thing that you could probably implement today at some point. And let's try something right now. I'm sure everyone's phones are nearby. So put your phone face down for 30 seconds. I want you to notice if there's an itch to pick it up. Because you're sitting here, I'm not talking, there's a pause. So noticing that itch to constantly pick it up because it's near you is the first step in breaking that cycle. So maybe just putting it out of reach, putting it on a different area of your workspace or wherever you are right now. Not having it, right near you when you're watching TV. I also want you to think about how many times have you picked up, looked at, or used your phone since this workshop started? So we've been here for 10 minutes so far. So how many times have you picked it up? Have you been on it the whole time, maybe? Do you feel like you're multitasking? Was it necessary? Was it helpful? So these are just things to kind of think about. Like, is my phone working in my favor or is it distracting me and kind of sucking the energy out of my day? I want you to see how long you can keep your phone down and make it a habit to leave it face down in another space or out of your sight as much as possible when you don't need it. Maybe find a space on your desk where you're like, okay, that's going to be my phone space. It's going to be face down when I don't need it. All right, so now kind of fed into this, talking about multitasking, because multitasking can feel productive, but brain science says otherwise. When we switch rapidly between tasks, our brains actually lose efficiency and make more mistakes. Over time, it's exhausting. The opposite, single tasking sharpens focus and calms the mind. So think about this next time when you have 20 tabs open on your computer and you're switching back and forth between the tabs, but what are you actually getting done? So let's practice what single tasking can look like in one of the simplest forms. So grab whatever beverage you have nearby. It could be your water, tea, coffee, or whatever you're drinking right now. Take one slow sip of that drink. And while you're sipping it, I want you to notice the temperature. Is it warm, cold, hot? What's the taste? What's the smell? What's the sensation? Is it cooling, warming? There's nothing else to do but just experience that one sip. So that's single tasking. So even one activity a day, whether it's eating lunch without a screen, writing an email with your notifications off, and just focusing on that one email and not switching between multiple screens or what you're doing, that can retrain the brain to slow down and focus more deeply on what you're doing at the moment, reducing anxiety and also boosting mood. So this might surprise you, but joy and play aren't optional. If you care about long-term emotional health, they're fuel. Play, novelty, and hobbies stimulate new connections in the brain, which is critical as we age. Think back. What did you love doing as a kid? Music, doodling, puzzles, dancing. How could you bring a sliver of that back into your daily life, even just 5 minutes? When we carve out time for joy, we're not being indulgent. We're protecting our mental health. More ideas can be paint by number, just something really simple that you don't have to use a lot of brain power for. Reading, being outside. Take a minute now just to think about, maybe your childhood, your younger years, or even something you do now or you wish you did now, that you would love to do, or have always wanted to try. Now pick one of these things that you could incorporate in your life now. Maybe instead of doom scrolling, when could you do it? Plan it out. What do you need to make it happen? Do you need supplies or equipment? Do you need to ask someone to join you? Do you need someone to ask you to help out with something so that you can do that? Maybe it's helping out with children or another something that you have to do so that you can go experience this joy. It could be something you could possibly do today at some point. So write down how you could possibly add this to your life and what you need to do it. And maybe, and I'll give you permission to pick up your phone and put a reminder in your phone to do it now, even if it's just something for 5 minutes. So our culture glorifies busyness, but our brains desperately need space to rest. Intentional pauses allow us to recover our attention, process information, and reset. So let's try one together. For the next 30 seconds, you can close your eyes or look down. No screens besides this one. No multitasking. Just notice your breath and the feeling of sitting in your chair. And that's it. That's being instead of always doing. So just taking that tiny pause. And tiny practices like a short walk without headphones, a no phone meal, or a 2-minute pause to breathe in between tasks can make your brain sharper and calmer and actually make you more productive. So taking these little pauses, even though they may seem like they're taking your time away, they're actually going to be adding in to your brain health, into positive habits, into productivity, into single tasking. So let's quickly recap. So we've explored 5 simple habits today. So if you haven't been taking notes and you want to take some notes on some of the things we talked about, now's a great time. So breathing resets for stress, so that inhaling for 4, pausing, exhaling for 6. That phone detoxing to reclaim your attention. So where can we phone detox a little bit? Even if it's 5 minutes less a day, that's something. My phone at the end of the week, it'll say you used your phone X amount of hours more than last week or less hours than last week. That can be a little depressing sometimes. So maybe your goal can be to just decrease that time you're on your phone, even if it's 5 minutes. And just see how you feel. Do you feel better using your phone for less time? And then single tasking to sharpen your focus. Close tabs on your computer that you don't need. When you're at home, maybe cooking dinner, just try to just cook dinner and not, throw in laundry and do this and do that and try to do a whole bunch of things, answer an email. Just focus on that one thing. And then if you have other things you need to do, write them down, put a reminder in your phone to do after. Joy and play is fuel for the brain. So what things are you going to do to have fun? What's something you can do today for 5 minutes to have fun or maybe longer? And then intentional just being time. So when can you just be? My favorite thing to do is at the end of the day when I get home and I park in my driveway, I just sit there for a few minutes as like the break to transition into my house. I know as soon as I go in, my teenage children are there, my husband's usually cooking dinner, and the dogs are going crazy. And so it's not relaxing. So that pause in the car of just being for a couple minutes makes that transition a little bit easier. So each one is small on its own, but repeated consistently, they can really add up to real transformation. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one habit from today and try it. Maybe add it into the chat and share it with others, what you're going to try, to hold yourself accountable and just kind of put it out there, and maybe it'll help give others some ideas. So just one thing, just once before the day is over. And that's how momentum starts. So if you have a thing like, okay, as soon as I get home today, I'm going to put my phone down, or as soon as my workday is over, I'm going to put my phone down for 30 minutes and just do something for me. I'm going to read, I'm going to go for a quick walk. I'm just going to go sit outside if it's a nice day, whatever it may be. And remember that healthy aging isn't about giant leaps. It's about small, repeatable steps that compound over time. So what's your one next step? How are you going to make it happen beyond today? Will you write it in your planner, put a sticky note on your desk, add it as a reminder in your phone, actively schedule it into your day every day? And then think about what you're going to pair it with that you already do so that you remember. So are you going to take some deep breaths while you're waiting for your coffee in the morning? Are you going to take a pause every time before you get out of the car and just breathe? So one person in the chat said, I'm going to read a book before going to bed. I love that. Another person says, slow down during work. Love it. Those are great ideas. So I want to close with a nourishing reset moment to transition you into the rest of your day. Oh, another person just added, I need to be better at single tasking. Love that. I can say that I also need to be better at that as well. Not scrolling phone immediately after waking up. Absolutely. I started keeping mine plugged in for at least 30 minutes in the morning away from where I am. And then once I've had my coffee and chilled out for a little bit, then I can pick it up. Phone detox. Yep. Not scrolling in the evening. Wasting time. Yep. It's amazing how fast like 30 minutes can go by when you're scrolling on your phone, right? You think, oh, I'm just going to go to bed in a second. And then 30 minutes later, you're still scrolling on your phone. Awesome. So keep adding those to the chat. So I just want to close with a nourishing reset moment to transition you into the rest of your day. So I want you can close your eyes if you want, or just look down. I want you to sit or stand tall, feet flat on the floor. Take a deep breath in through your nose, feeling your belly expand. Exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing tension. Release your jaw. Let your shoulders fall down away from your neck. Imagine roots growing from your feet into the earth, grounding you. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, imagine releasing any mental clutter. Silently say, I release what is not serving me. Could be your phone, could be wasting time. Now I invite you to place a hand on your heart. Take a deep breath in and think of one word that represents how you want to feel. It could be anything. Give you a few examples. Calm, clear, strong, open. On your next exhale, affirm that and say, I am, in whatever word you picked. Clear, strong, open, energized, happy. And now briefly set an intention for your next step. Ask yourself, what matters most right now? I think for most of us, like our phones don't really matter, but for some reason they do, right? So what matters most right now? And then once you've had that, just smile slightly and move forward with clarity now that you've decided that. So this quick reset keeps you centered, focused, even in the busiest of moments. And I want to thank you so much for your time today. I hope you have a few takeaways that you can use from this moving forward. And then on our next slide is just a quick survey for you to complete. And thank you again. If you have any questions, I have a few more minutes. You can add them in the chat and I'm happy to answer them.